Hey cronies, Johnny Gray here with yet another CrohnsCast story. Tonight's episode we're going to be talking with Ijmal, creator of Razi Blog. But before we get stuck into the episode, let's hear from our thumbs up comment of the week.
Our thumbs up comment of the week is from Mr. Snike, aka Crohn's Warrior. I am a 20-year-old Crohn's disease survivor. So grateful for my journey because it's made me who I am. No regrets. I would love to be a guest and discuss all my circumstances with health and never giving up, even when it hurts. I have bathroom stories, relationship stories, college stories. I'm an open book. My life with Crohn's is hilarious and humbling.
That was a really great comment. Thank you so much to Crohn's Warrior. If you guys want to be featured on the channel, just post a comment on any of our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, and we will look to feature you in forthcoming episodes or in any up and coming episodes. But it really means a lot for comments to be left like that, and it really helps me know that the messages that we're leaving or getting out there and that you're finding them useful. So tonight's episode is with Ijmal, who's the creator behind Razi Blog. He's also an architect. He has his own architectural business. He also runs a mental health work group known as Hidden Spoons, so you can find that on Instagram as well. So he's a pretty busy guy, and we were talking to him earlier in the year, and we asked him how does he manage to get through the difficult days, because when you've got a chronic disease, sometimes fatigue can just get too much. And looking at Ijmal, his plate is pretty full, so I really wanted to know, like, how does he get through those days where he's got a lot of chronic fatigue going on or his symptoms are playing up, and what inspires him to push through and keep going forwards. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this episode. Byproducts I've noticed is I can struggle day to day with fatigue and things, and I know you are massively busy in what you do and setting up. I know whenever we were looking to set this up, you'd mentioned that you're running several different things at once, and I'm just wondering how do you manage to push through on those days, and like when you're setting up Hidden Spoons, running your blog and your other ventures that you're involved in, on the painful days and the days where you're maybe feeling run down, what inspires you to keep going, and how do you manage it?
The funny thing is when I was starting Hidden Spoons, it was last fall, so like September, October, and around that time I was actually quite sick, and my iron level, my ferritin level was down to a 2. And yeah, so you're supposed to be anywhere above, I believe, a 40 to 400, and I was at a 2.
That's rock bottom, that is.
Yeah, so I would be working really hard during the day, and I think the reason why I was working so hard for Hidden Spoons and my own business and everything was because those are things that I'm really passionate about. But the thing is, when I get home from work, I would just crash. It was like 5 p.m. and I would just be out for the rest of the day. I wouldn't be up until the next morning. And so for me, the thing that always drives me and allows me to do these things is my own passion for it. But that's not to say that's the case for everybody. For me, the thing that I love is helping people. So within my own business and within Hidden Spoons, I love just making sure I'm helping people. So sometimes it can by default put me on the back burner a little bit at times, but I always make time to rest. These are things I never used to do for myself. So self-care is a little bit more important to me now. And if I'm not able to do something, or if I don't have the energy for it, I won't do it. Whereas before I would. So now I do what I want, and then if I'm out of energy, I won't push myself beyond that. But before I would do what I want, and then I would do what other people wanted me to do as well, and I was running low. So yeah, it's finding that balancing act between. Part of it is like, if you're doing what you love, it doesn't so much feel like work. And then, but yeah, it is that balancing act between looking after others while also looking after yourself. You can't let one out. You do want it to your health or self-care to outweigh a little bit than helping others, but it's always a balance. It's a give or take, so you can't let yourself ever fall to the wayside.
Do you think your diagnosis has helped you invest more in your passions and be more focused on making sure the things in your life are stuff that you're passionate about as opposed to anything else?
Yes, 100%. Because I took a little bit of a break. So I told you guys what I did in school and what I did in my career. One of the main things I love in my career is doing architectural design, and so I had stopped doing any of that after I was diagnosed. And I started working an office job, which was like 9 to 5, which was a little bit mundane. I didn't really enjoy it so much, but I've gotten back into the design world about a year ago. And since then, I had started my own business. I've hired staff because it's been growing. It's just been a really insane response that I wasn't expecting. So in the past year, I've had my projects show up in magazines. One of my projects was up for an award for Best Interior Design in Canada. So it's been, and I've realized that I'm putting all my energy now into the right things, and it's now lessening my stress, which is helping me cope with my illness, which is, it's this really interesting relationship I'm having now with the things I choose to associate myself to.
So does it feel like it's almost creating a beautiful cycle as opposed to the alternative, which would be a vicious cycle?
Kind of. It's almost like this is a new cycle that's running parallel to my illness, and so it's like separate. So that illness is still running, but this separate cycle is almost, it's either going to make that cycle of my illness larger, or it's going to minimize it. And I feel like if you're doing things that you love, eventually they will overshadow the negative in your life, which happens to be my illness for me.
Hey guys, as you can see, Ijmal is handling a lot, and he's actually got some really good tips for how he manages to get through things and the different sort of perspectives on how he views his life and the different elements that are there within. So yeah, I hope you really got something from the episode or are able to add something to your toolbox with the stuff that Ijmal shared with us. And again, if you really like the video, don't forget to press that little like icon, hit the subscription button 2020 style, and hit that little bell. That way you will get updated every time that we upload. So we will catch you in the next episode. See you guys soon. Bye for now.